What is up? What is up, man, y'all?
I've been looking and looking and looking. Where the hell have you been?
I know, right? That's probably what everybody asking. I know y'all be like, man, a lot of people been reaching out like, what's up with the man cave? We have been on a little hiatus. But guess what? It's Tuesday and we back. Man, if y'all don't know who I am and my co-host over there, man, I'm Cedric Edison, and that is
Ron Servin here.
and y'all are now tuned in to the Man Cave Experience. Y'all, man. So man, let's how you doing over there, man? How you
Doing
doing in
good.
Cap?
Just yeah, life has been just continuing to move forward. Just loving just this opportunity to reconnect here, and just lots of good things going on in the world. Well, in the world, right? I mean, how can we look past some of the crazy things going on in the world to really realize we're deciding what we put our energy on? So our energy is here. Glad to be here. Glad to be back in the cave and excited for our conversation tonight.
Man, you and me both, man. You and me both. Man, it's cool over there, and who tuning in. Uh, hey, I really do hope that it's all good in your neck of the woods. And if it's not, at least you're not horizontal and being viewed, right?
There'll come a day, right? There will come a day.
Hey, that's what we can't miss. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you're at,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, man, really, man, I'm glad we're back, and I wanted to talk to you because we were on the phone maybe like a week or so ago, and somehow in the conversation, I think we were talking about like what I had going on. I was talking about this journaling thing, and you were like, "Yo, dude, you remember I told you about my journaling?" And so now we're here talking about journaling. Um, I'm kind of curious, man. What made you even get into it?
I've heard of the benefits before, just how um, coaches that I've had conversations with, just people in general. My wife, she's one that's kept a journal for many years. We go back in time, and what was the locket or the diary. I mean, just
Yeah,
how I felt like I was keeping things in my mind, in my heart, on my mind, that I would sometimes just kind of lose touch with, and maybe either forget or soon after not remember how important that specific day or event was. So I just found myself wanting to spend more time with myself. I mean, how much I enjoy my meditation practice,
right.
and this just seemed like a next logical step. And really, it kind of came out of me wanting to share with myself my whole journey of pain and discomfort. So I'm not going to go into that whole deal now, but it's just been a tool for me to again show up for myself, in a way that feels authentic. I try not to be too like it is structured, but try not to like kind of keep it within the rails. I like to kind of let it expand and grow. So yeah, that's kind of where I kind of got started. I know I was listening to you and just how you're really kind of creating a program around this, and just sharing different types of journaling, because it's not just about writing on a paper. There's lots of different avenues to do that. So I'd love for you to maybe share with the audience kind of what you've discovered in your own process to be able to not look at it as it's only this. It can be a variety of things.
Man, good question, man. For me, like kind of how I got into it, man, I was in a lost place and just was like, yo, I gotta try something. You was trying something, and this might work, but it didn't feel like it was like it was enough. So you just searching for different tools, and I strayed away from it for a long time because I came up in the '80s and '90s where it was a diary was for girls, and so I had all of that programming to get out. And so yeah, man, that's really honestly, I didn't start journaling, getting into it really until health coaching school, HCI.
Yeah.
But then what happened, man, is dipping and dabbing in it was helping, and I hadn't quite had the habit down just yet. And then I found myself back in that mind loop again, where I just felt like I needed a tool. And I was like, yo, like, let's just get back to it. And got back to it. No, I want to say that was probably around the time you was telling me about the journaling app. And so I got to doing it, man, and I was like, yo, we own to something now. Like, you can't let this go. And I had grew, and I was growing in the process. And so I'm like, this my jam right here. And but what it's been able to do is like give me a detailed version of a particular moment in time. I wish I would have really been doing it when Mosiah was born.
Mm.
That whole day to be able to go back and look at all of those different emotions and how tired I was, the thoughts, all of that. So that's how it was for the writing part. But I didn't really have my aha moment around the other different parts until trying to come up with content, right? Because as a speaker, you got to speak and put your stuff out there. And so I'm like, man, I got to find a way to do this. And man, it was a combination of stuff. Looking at the 100-day live challenge and then putting this all down and then just being obedient. It'd be midnight. And I'm one of those like that tell it. I'm one of them cats, man. I tell that lie. Oh, I'm gonna remember it. Right? Oh man, that was fire. Oh yeah, I know I'm gonna remember that. I know I'm gonna remember that. And then I, not remember. And so I started doing audios, so I can capture it right there in the moment. And then just start doing video because sometimes, I don't feel like writing. So it's like, but I got to get it out. And it's like, yo, let me memorialize it this way. And that's how all the other stuff came about and doing them. So now I'm like, yo, I got people about it.
Right. And I think we've talked about this before about how, sometimes we tend to focus on these big accomplishments or these grand moments in our life. And those are all great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging and appreciating them. Those are probably going to stick a little bit more in our memory than other subtle successes or, things that we do that are important to us. So that's kind of what I have found is, because I've just reached a year. So just a little plug for Day One, the app. Maybe Day One folks are listening in. We'll give them a little plug, but it's just they've got a basic app and they've got a professional app, and it's pretty cheap. I think it's like $50-$60 a year, and it just gives you a landing spot, whether it's on your smartphone, your tablet, your desktop. It syncs across all of those applications to, like Seth saying, it could just be it could be a video of the moment. It could be a picture and maybe some sharing along with that picture. It could just be like with me, my journey of pain and discomfort and looking at, back now that it's been a year and seeing where my mind, my thoughts, my experiences, what was going on in my life a year ago. And for me, I'm 58 years old and I don't remember everything that I once did. And I'm okay with that. I like to say that the reason I don't remember things so well and I don't focus on the future is I'm so present-minded that that's all I really, which is kind of that. But, it's just, for me, the app provides me just some structure, some flexibility and creativeness to where, to your point, in this app, and I'm sure there's other ways that you can kind of track different types of things you want to journal about. So I created my own life journal, which is, things that happen in my life. Oftentimes it'll be something around my own life, my wife's, integrate my wife's experiences or what we do, and my son. But I also created a separate one just as being a dad. So you mentioned, wish you would have got done earlier. Like, I've only been doing it for a year. I don't journal in that particular category, the dad's journal, every day, but it is a landing spot for me to maybe go in deeper on, an experience or a memory or something that I want to capture in that moment that, can not necessarily only be shared by myself, but it's like opening that up to my son someday and say, this is the password and this is how you get in. So if you ever wanted to kind of understand what I was going through, different parts of your life or my own life, here it is. And I think it's just, a way to, it's, for me, it's taking some time, kind of like public speaking, to where you slowly let go of all of the uncertainty, the judgments, all those things that kind of hold us back. And things start flowing much more easily. The things that you may struggle with, as far as expressing yourself, become more and more available because we let that judgment go. Because we're typically the only ones looking at it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a great tool to be able to walk down the street and see a beautiful eagle flying through the air and just what came up when I saw that, and just to capture that, and then that memory of when it comes up, or just to reflect on that, at the end of a week, and really understand, gosh, that was the victory that week, or that was the victory that day. It wasn't the COVID experience where I had to deal with something related to that. It was that moment that sometimes gets us past those tough moments, or those little things that keep nudging at us. So.
Like how we say is to me, it seemed like it was easier to go back and celebrate the wins,
Mm-hmm.
because most of our memories, we gonna remember the big stuff. Oh yeah, man, I signed that big ticket client, or this, like you say, the big extravagant thing. But then it's those times where you like, man, all of the world on your shoulders, and you just trying to find that one little thing, and you go back and see, yo, I was being present this day. Like, I saw the eagle.
Right.
You know what, man, I'm winning. That type of thing.
Well, and you brought up, or I actually brought it up, but then you kind of elaborated on it, was how you're discovering opportunities to share, this insight with others, through your coaching program. And for me, I see opportunities for especially people that are transitional parts of their life, whether it's retirement, whether it's moving on to another job. I mean, we hear in the marketplace now how many people are leaving their jobs, and what are those thoughts and feelings and energies that we oftentimes keep within us, and they may get displaced, they get confusing, we don't interpret them the way that we might if we are able to put it out there, whether it's, again, an audio, video, writing it down, to really understand and to look at it a little bit more, in a much more forgiving way. And I think, the listeners out there that may be in that situation where, you decided to leave the workplace and now you're deciding what's next for me, or what's next, but you're struggling with maybe, how am I going to create this new momentum for myself? And journaling is a great way to do that. It's because you're going to see the evolution and the integration of your thoughts and experiences into kind of this roadmap of where you want to go. And then just looking back in time on again, the little things that you did to get there. And for me, being semi-retired and living this repurposed life, or this friend of mine said, a reimagined life, right? So there's different, ways you can look at it. It's not retirement, but again, retirement, looking for a new job, moving from one career to the next. What a great tool for you to share with yourself what you're going through at that moment, because eventually you're going to get to where you want to be, most likely. And you kind of lose that whole memory or that understanding of, gosh, I was struggling a year ago this time because I didn't have a job or I decided to leave. Now I'm in this moment here. And I think it reminds us of those little victories that we have along the way that give us so much more, meaning when we do get to that destination we're looking for.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, it's funny, man. When you were talking, it made me, this Black History Month, and not really just it made me feel like too, it's a way for me to capture history,
Mm.
right? Because you can write about everything, and I talking like the 7 pillars of life. We talked about the big five before, but finance, social, like to be your best self. But what better way to be able to have something that you can pass down from generation to because the matriarchs and patriarchs just aren't living as long.
Right.
You're not seeing 100 somethings. You see, they're rare now,
Right.
right? People passing out of here, checking out at 50. And so if we can write that and like, man, Anthony and Mosiah, they'll be able to come back and be like, yo, I got to get my stuff together. Like, this is the legacy that they were leaving,
Well, I
right?
was just thinking, if you look back in time and ancient times, hieroglyphics, right? They were journaling, basically. They were, transcribing their experience through symbols and letters, and as things evolved into something that they interpreted in a certain way, but it was also left for others to understand, well after they're being gone, what their life looked like through these interpretive type of symbols and pictures and all these things. So journaling's been happening for a long, long time. And I love your point about, the diary being something that, is more of a women's, type of activity. And I challenge you that any men that listen in here and say, well, journaling is not for me, try it. I mean, like anything else in life, we could be critical of something or scared of doing something because it's something different than we've done before. See what happens. It might be the best thing in your life that you've ever done. It might be something you say, yeah, not for me. I'm okay with that. And it might just be something down the middle of the road that just creates a layer of that memory, that acceptance, that just, again, noting the small things, the little subtle victories each day that we all experience, that we mask over with, something that is catastrophic or something that is, harsh or something that is, of consequence that doesn't feel good. We can rectify even a day when we can look back to say, gosh, I was able to, do this and it created happipiness.
Yeah.
What can I grow out of that experience?
It's, it's almost like an antiquated Facebook, right? So, because they have memories that come up.
Right.
It's so like, yo, you go back and read it. Because what made me think about that, because I see some of my memories and I'm like, God damn, you can see the growth. And you're like, ooh. Or then you'll put some vague stuff and then you're like, man, what the hell was I thinking when I posted that? Because I have brain dumped.
Yeah.
As a way of journaling when it comes to my emotions. And for me, I like to do brain dumps either if I'm stressed or when I'm pissed. Mother, die. Just get it out. Like, you go back and you're like, oh shit. Like, what the heck was going on, dude? Oh, man.
Well, I think the more tools we have in our tool belt for living the fullest life that we want to experience, and we all have certain tools in our tool belt that we can go to, and there was a point in your life where that tool wasn't available and you decided at that point to add it. So what is it going to hurt, for you to consider doing something? And this could, like to Sed's point, it could just be, maybe you don't feel like writing, you don't like to write, maybe it's just having that dump out of your mind of just letting everything just kind of flow out. So you release. Too often we keep things in and it starts building up these layers within us. And then what we thought was the surface level problem was actually that time that we decided to push something down in our life and didn't, face it head on. And little things can create that. It doesn't have to be something of consequence that starts that process. It could be something back in our childhood that we didn't get past. We didn't express ourselves. We didn't tell that person, I'm sorry. We didn't give ourselves permission to let go of something. And then it manifests as we get older and we get good at it. Like a habit, right? Like any other good or bad habit, we decide we know how to do it well, so we're going to continue to do it. So, again, it's a space. We're creating a space in your awareness on something that we've both done that works for us. And the show is not about us telling you what you need to do. The show is about us just sharing as authentic men what we've done to help move us forward, and as well as what we've done that's held us back. The show is not about all of our victories and successes. Those are all great, but also we want to be able to have a conversation where we say, no, I didn't do well at that, or I did not succeed in the way that I would have liked to around that topic. And that's what you're going to get from us. It's not going to be, something that it's, hey, you're going to show up in the man cave and everything's going to be rosy. There'll be days where we're cracking up and having a great time, but there's also times where we'll shed a tear. We'll, tap into something that has kept us really struggling in our lives. And again, Cedric and I have always said every show, I think when I look back, and there's a lot of shows out there, especially the funny ones that we first started with, that that we're learning about ourselves through this process, and this is a safe place for you, the listener, safe place for maybe somebody else that in your life that is struggling or wants to achieve more. Again, this isn't about success or failure. It's about learning and growing, and oftentimes we do that as a result of something that held us back, that we were stuck in.
Yeah, man. We're a toolbox, man, and we just come on and try to give y'all some of the tools that worked for us, and some of the ones that we know gonna work for us. We ain't tried it and it still hurt because we're not implementing all of that. You're gonna get all of that. It's just authentic conversation. Yeah, man, that journaling is a shameless plug, man. I don't know. I actually used it to make residual income, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I used to journal and I stopped, and I was talking to Angel Howard. Shout out to Angel Howard over there at Illinois State. I was going through some stuff with the speaker. She's like, man, just write your story. Just start writing, go back. Because I was trying to have better stage presence and all of that stuff. And she was like, start with your story. Long story short, my portion of Fearless, the anthology, was done already. I just had to go and read it and then just reorganize a little bit of stuff. So there is that. You can come back and over time and create a memoir. Format, editing, boom. Now you for real got another legacy and an actual business you can pass on to somebody. Yeah, man. So I'm curious, man, because I hear a lot about time. Man, I don't have time, or the two big ones, time and I don't know what to write about. So if you was talking to that newly retired person, or that person heading in, at that part of their journey, or that person that's coming into, a new career or school or whatever, what would you say would be a good starting point, or where did you start first?
It really started with just me deciding what I wanted. Where can I start a thought process around how I wanted to experience my perfect day. In my coaching practice, that's something that I really encourage individuals to look at, knowing that we don't experience every day as being our perfect day. But if we don't know what that looks like, then we arbitrarily decide, well, maybe it's the middle of the road and that feels right because it's more achievable, versus really understanding how through this thought process and sharing process with yourself, there's things that come up in my journaling that allows me to dream bigger than maybe I have before. So I think anybody that's now starting to do any type of journaling, and you're in that transitional mode, or you're moving into retirement or repurposed or reimagining, whatever that term might be for you, you want to fill that time. This is the time of your life where it's exciting, where all the work that you've done leading up to this point has created just this sense of what's next for me. And it's not like you're up, 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 and then you're down, 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 down. It's like, it should be a continued movement in the direction that you want to grow into. And yeah, there's going to be maybe some leveling off. So, don't spend a lot of time overthinking it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You may just write down a sentence as you start this process. You may just write down a sentence. I'm just glad that I'm journaling. There's days where I just write down what I'm grateful about. And it's just that I started this practice. So that might be a great place just to start. Just put 2 points every morning. What am I happy about and what am I grateful for? And just start there. And then just allow your mind to grow into why. What is your why? Why are you happy? What can you do in your life to create more happiness? What can you do in your life, or what are you not spending a lot of time in gratitude in your life that is very important for you at the deepest level that you're not sharing with yourself? Because that's going to open up this opportunity to share with others. I think the more we share with ourselves and we get to know ourselves and we're our own best friend and we love ourselves, our ability to flow that out in the world is much more accessible.
Man, for real. I like that, man. You say just start. And but what I also heard in there too, and I don't know if y'all caught that, but I heard it loud and clear is be kind to yourself in the process. Like you say, because sometimes it is just that one sentence. Don't beat yourself up and be like, oh my God, I only wrote the one. Nah, be kind. All right, I did it. Not saying, hey, you got to go in there and write a page.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I heard in there. Um,
And I love the fact said that you've brought up, Messiah, your son, and just how you can integrate your thoughts into that. I think it doesn't have to be a singular, this is what's happening to me. You could start, to your point or your question, what else in your life could you share, in thought, in in translation, in video, in, audio, that really allows you to really fully share, even if it's with yourself, how you feel about that. What is your dad? What do you think about your dad? Let the thought process roll. Because I mean, it's not, again, it's not the end game. It's the journey along the way to find out more about yourself. And just like I said, just do it. And
just do it.
just
Yeah. And I
and
would
then if
say,
it doesn't work, try maybe something different or a variation of it. I mean, don't get stuck in your, okay, I tried it once, I sat down, nothing came up, so I'm done. No, it's like write down in your journal, I had nothing to share with myself today. That's okay. That's
yeah,
okay. Just maybe where you're at right now. And that's, we've all been in that place where we don't know what's next, or we don't know what to say, or we're lost in our thoughts. And that's okay to share that with yourself. I don't really enjoy or understand what this journaling process is, but I'm putting it out there for myself to recognize that this is how I'm feeling. And that's okay. It's a starting place.
and just continue. And in the little, I have the 7-day challenge that I created to help people start, their journaling process. And one of the habit creators that I have in there is really just start with 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Just start with 2 minutes,
Right.
because I heard a lot, man, I don't have the time. I don't have the time, because people think you have to sit down and do a prescribed amount of time or a prescribed amount of words. Sometimes it is, I'm I'm grateful that I'm sticking to it. And I go blank, and that's that. Um, and gradually go and every day, and create that consistency, create that habit. It's just like, it's almost like dating that new girl. Sometimes, when you go over it, it's gonna be uncomfortable with some stuff.
Mhm.
Holding hands, like, oh well, they like the fingers on the inside, on the outside, and not the inside, right? So it's until you get used to it, then it's like, oh, okay. second time you hold her hand, his hand or her hand is, but then you get used to it. But the only way you get used to it is you gotta hold hands, right? So same thing with the journaling. I would say start with Scott Prismas. What's happening?
Scotty, what's up, buddy?
Hey, we got our man, we got our loyal people coming back. Man, we love it. We love it. We love it. Let's see what Scott say. Sometimes even writing one word is enough. It's a start.
Exactly. And I think to your point, Seth, I mean, there's been plenty of times where early morning journaling is my method, what works best for me. You know, no TV, meditate, come out and just share with myself what's going on. But leave it open for the day. It doesn't mean you have to close the book and say, I'm done journaling today because this is all I had to share. There may be something that comes up in the middle of the day. Maybe something that comes up before you go to bed. Maybe right before you go to bed is the perfect time for you to sit in silence and have that conversation with yourself and expressing it, you know, on paper or on video or on, through the audio process. It's like meditation. It's like other things that we integrate into our life. You got to find what works for you, because what works for me does not work for Cedric. It doesn't work for Scott. You know, we all have to find what works for us. But along with that, and we all know this as coaches, and it's something we should understand as human beings, when we want to add something else to our busy life, we usually have to pause on something else or let go of something. Maybe it's that I'm going to bed 10 minutes earlier tonight because I want to spend 10 minutes in the morning journaling. There has to be that, you know, oftentimes that give and take.
Man, don't kill me, journaling gurus out there, the journal gods. But I'm about to give y'all a super cool ninja secret. One of the I have a different mic, but I keep leaning in like I'm on this mic. Like it's
my mic's not even working. It just looks cool that it's here for me.
Super secret ninja way to journal in privacy. When you go to the bathroom, ain't nobody coming in. Just lock the door. I mean,
probably best to not do an audio at that point, though. Probably best to type it in or something.
Yeah, stay away from audio and video, especially video.
My day was really good today. Oh my god.
This I can't get it out, man. But yeah, no, that's one little spot. You know, you can start. Always keep it. I tell people, man, always keep it with you too. If you got one of them smartphones, you got a way to journal. But I literally have one for every area of my life. So when I'm at the house, I don't bring them all, but I have a general one. But then I have one like for fun, like if I can grab it, y'all, for my finances, so I can really get an in-depth look at finance. What's my social life like? Yeah, so I can, man, it's crazy, and like I've become obsessed with it. Man. So anything else for the people? Because we got to get out of here, y'all. We got to get ready. We would love to sit with y'all. But
yeah, I mean, some of you that may be listening in might be your first time. So go back and learn a little bit more about us. And we come from two completely different walks of life. I'm here in Southern California. Ced's in Texas. We've been in person with each other a couple times, but we've built this friendship that really is the foundation of why we're here. And we're here to support you. You know, we're here to support each other. We're here to create just an opportunity to grow. Ced knows my tagline. What is it, Ced?
Know to grow and grow to know.
There you go.
I was like, hold on, I got to get it right.
And with that, I will just say, great to be here again, Ced, with you. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. We'd love to have you in again. We've had Scott in before, and it was just a great time. So great to be here. Great to kind of reopen this can of whoop ass.
Yeah, right. Man, again, like y'all, man, we appreciate y'all joining us. Y'all rocking with us. We got some of our long time fans coming back. We appreciate it. Hey, if you know somebody, man, that's in an area of their life where they transitioning, especially during this great resignation, or I call it just great recirculation. But there are some people that's exiting. They're just tapping out. They got their time in, and they leaving. If you know somebody like that, man, hey, share the show. If you know somebody that's just entering into, the entry level career or wherever they at, they trying to up level or going into college. It's a transition, man. Hey, send this over to them. We got some for those demographics. That's what the show is all about, and you getting it from two dudes from two different walks of life, and we just chopping it up authentically and just giving it to y'all, and we gonna keep giving it to y'all and keep giving it to y'all. But nah, but yeah. So what y'all to see for the ones that's tuning in. Once the show is over, y'all gonna see in the show notes. I'm actually put the link down there for that 7-day challenge. Start it when you want to, and you'll be able to download the slides for that and be able to start your journaling challenge. Because I really want this to be a tool for y'all. Here's a man that's reimagined, and somebody that's still, I'm looking to do that one day, but I'm still in the thick of things, and it's helped both of us. So I would love to put that resource out there for y'all to be able to up level and get a snapshot of your life too. So y'all, it's been fun. It's been real fun.
So we do like a fist bump to the middle. Let's figure that out over here.
So it's so strange though, because
there you go. There it is.
Boop. Like I'm doing it to nothing, and I'm like, oh, it's nothing. Yeah, you can see. Y'all see what it is.
If you didn't notice, Cedric's a black man. I'm a white man, so this does not look like it should. So.
I'm black.
Yeah.
Especially this one. I'm blackity black.
You are.
Black History Month.
You are one amazing black man.
You're an amazing white man. Like, hey, I don't care what they say about white men. You're a cool white dude. Well, hey man, it's been a pleasure meeting you up here, man, in the cave. Y'all, we're gonna see y'all later.
Yeah.